All right, get ready, because today we're diving into the Clockwork Alibi. It's a locked room mystery, and it's
Yeah.
going to make you think. So imagine this. You're in a seaside town, a big storm cuts it off, everyone's stuck inside. An antique shop full of clocks. Oh, and the shop's owner, Victor Finch, is found murdered.
Sounds like a great setup. That storm is more than just weather, right? It's a plot device. It traps those characters, and the tension just goes way up. Think about it. You're stuck with a killer. No escape until the storm ends. It's a total pressure cooker.
Yeah, and then you've got the missing grandfather clock, the shattered display case. It all looks like a robbery.
Yeah.
But there are other characters. They've got secrets and motives of their own. So when we look at these suspects, what are the red flags?
Well, you have to think about their alibis, but also the kinds of alibis. Some are solid, easy to check. Others, well, let's say they're shaky. They might depend on someone who wants to protect the killer. And then there are those who just make up an alibi. In a locked room, those alibis are everything.
Makes sense. So first up is Martha Finch. She's Victor's niece. Inheritance disputes, always good for a motive. But what makes her a prime suspect?
Well, it's not just the inheritance fight. It's her alibi. She says she was at the cafe across the street all evening. But she's got muddy boots. Maybe she went out during the storm. Maybe back to the antique shop. In a good mystery, even little details matter. Muddy boots could mean nothing. Or they could be a cover-up.
Interesting. Okay, next is Daniel Cross, Victor's apprentice. He says he was fixing a clock in the back when it happened. Sounds like a solid alibi, right?
Maybe, maybe not. Being in another room does sound good. But did anyone see him there? Could he have slipped out? And he's got scratches on his hands. Could be from the broken glass, could be something else. These little things make you wonder. The killer wants you to believe their story. We have to figure out if it's the truth.
This is Detective Gray's job, right?
Exactly.
Okay, then there's Eliza Grace. She's a rival antique dealer, had some history with Victor. She says she left before the storm hit. Perfect alibi, or is it?
That's where things get tricky. Even if she left before the murder. If she was there at all before the lockdown, she's a suspect. They found a broken umbrella. Seems to be hers. That puts her in the shop, even though she said she left early. A good alibi needs proof. Can anyone say where she was during that time? That's what a good detective would ask.
Right, right. Last but not least, Aaron Doyle, the clock enthusiast, really wanted that missing grandfather clock. They found his fingerprint there, but he says he was just looking at it from outside. Harmless admirer, or is there more to it?
That's where motive and opportunity come in. Was he obsessed enough to kill? Could he have gotten inside without anyone noticing? The fingerprint puts him there, but when? Before the storm, like he says. Or was he lurking around using the storm as a cover? He says he never went inside, so that fingerprint is even more suspicious.
Yeah, definitely raises some questions.
It does. Now let's talk clocks. This shop is full of them, right? But we're not talking about just any clocks. We've got grandfather clocks, cuckoo clocks, maybe even a sundial tucked away somewhere. But here's the thing. Every clock in the shop is running fast, except for one, a smashed pocket watch, frozen at 7:45 p.m. What do you make of that?
It's strange, right? Most people wouldn't even think about it, but not Detective Gray. She's on vacation. But she gets pulled into this case, and she notices this right away. Everyone else missed it. Why is one clock stopped when the others are fast? It's like a game of spot the difference, but with, deadly consequences.
Exactly. That's what makes Detective Gray so good. She understands that in a locked room, time is everything. Control the time and you control the story. So she sees this thing with the clocks and it clicks. Could the killer have messed with the clocks to make fake alibis? And if so, what does that smashed pocket watch tell us?
Right, frozen at 7.45. This is where it gets really interesting. A room full of ticking clocks, each one a possible clue. It's like the killer is playing with us, leaving a trail. So how does Detective Gray figure this out?
Well, she starts with the least likely idea. What if that pocket watch shows the real time of the murder? It's the only one they didn't touch. Now think about those alibis. Martha said she left at 7:30, Daniel at 7:50, Eliza around 7:4. And Aaron, well, he insists he was never inside. But if it happened at 7:45...
Wait, that changes everything. They all could have been there?
Exactly. That one realization about the clocks, it changes the whole investigation. Those alibis, they're not so solid anymore. It's not about who couldn't have done it. It's about who had the best reason and the chance to do it. So let's look at those suspects again.
Okay, let's start with Martha. We know she wanted the inheritance. Those muddy boots, maybe she did sneak out. But could she change all those clocks without anyone noticing?
Good point. Messing with that many clocks, especially in an antique shop, they're probably delicate, valuable. It would take time and skill. We can't rule her out completely, but did she really have the knowledge? and the chance to do it.
Okay, what about Daniel? He's an apprentice, he knows about clocks, and those scratches on his hands, remember? Maybe from a fight with Victor.
Now you're thinking like a detective. He knows the shop, he knows clocks. It makes more sense that he could change them.
Yeah.
And the scratches, yeah, they fit the story. But we need more than just that. Why would he kill Victor? What was his reason?
Well, you said that little details can be important. What if we look closer at Daniel's past? Was there something more going on with him and Victor? Maybe a secret, a debt, even resentment? Apprenticeships, especially with something like clocks, they can be tough, you know?
You're right. We can't just look at the physical clues. We need to think about their minds, too. What was their relationship like? Was there tension, anger? Maybe Daniel felt ignored, not appreciated, maybe even used by Victor. Remember, motive isn't always money or inheritance. It can be much deeper than that.
So maybe Daniel had a reason. He wasn't happy with Victor. He knew how to change the clocks, make a fake alibi. And those scratches, maybe he was in a fight. But something's still not right.
You're right to be careful. We've got a lot pointing at Daniel, but we can't jump to conclusions. We have to look at everything. What if we're missing something? Something that could change everything. Remember, in a locked room, the most obvious answer might not be the right one.
So we've looked at alibis, checked the clues, and tried to get inside the suspects' heads. But I feel like there's more to this clock thing. What if? We've been so focused on why each person might have done it that we missed a connection between them.
You're catching on. Remember, it's a locked room. That storm, it trapped them all in that shop, like a pressure cooker. What if the murder wasn't just one person acting alone? What if they worked together? A conspiracy.
Whoa! More than one killer. That's a twist. But what would connect these people? Why would they team up to kill Victor?
Well, we know Victor was a tough businessman. The antique world, it can be ruthless. Maybe he made enemies, crossed the wrong people. Maybe he had a secret that could ruin them all. Imagine this. They all have reasons to dislike Victor. They're stuck together in the storm. The lights go out. The tension is high. And then an opportunity.
So the storm started it all. They didn't plan it before. But being trapped together, they decided to do it. Use the storm as a cover. But how could they plan something so complicated so quickly?
That's the question, isn't it? And that's where Detective Gray shines. She's not just looking at the obvious stuff, she's watching them. How they act around each other, their body language, what they don't say. It's a puzzle, but with people's minds. She's looking at their motives, their fears, who they might side with.
So we've been thinking about who messed with the clocks,
Mm-hmm.
but she's been watching them, looking for little things, a look, a nervous habit, trying to protect someone. Maybe those little things are the key.
Exactly. In a locked room, anyone could be the killer. And sometimes a killer isn't the one who stands out, it's the one who blends in, the one pulling the strings.
This is wild. We started with a robbery, now it's a conspiracy, so many suspects, so many secrets. It's like peeling an onion. Every layer makes it more complicated.
And that's what's great about locked room mysteries. They keep you guessing, make you question everything. You have to look at the evidence again and again. And remember, you're not just listening to this. You're part of it. You're a detective, too, working with Detective Gray. Are you starting to see the whole picture?
I think so. But if she thinks it's a conspiracy, how does she prove it? These people are smart. They've had time to practice their stories, make their alibis strong.
She needs to find the weak spot. The one thing they messed up, maybe something they say, a detail that doesn't match, or even something physical that connects them. Even the best plans can have mistakes.
Right. The devil is in the details. A tiny thing can solve the whole thing. And Detective Gray isn't just looking for who did it. She wants to know how and why. She wants the whole story.
Exactly. That's what makes her brilliant. She's not just closing a case, she's telling a human story. A story of betrayal, ambition, maybe even desperation. Remember, every locked room mystery is about people. Keep that in mind as you explore these stories. Look past the clues and see the human side of it.
Well, that's our deep dive into the Clockwork Alibi. Motives, alibis, a possible conspiracy. It's been a wild ride. Remember, even in simple mysteries, there's always more to uncover. So keep your eyes open, pay attention to the details,